All right. Hello, everybody. Once you get in here, I have streamed an extension cord so I can have my iron here for this because we need it for this class. Hopefully, no more fuses will blow. Hopefully, no more pipes will leak. Thank you, everybody, for understanding rescheduling to today. Okay. Get organized with what we're going to do. We'll wait for everybody to get on. We'll get this exterior done. I gotta grab a nameplate. Oh, goodness. This will be next. So we will be getting started promptly at 4 o'clock. Lots to get through. Let's get over here. All right, I'm almost organized. Now I know Kim won't be sewing along, but will be here. Diane's going to be a little late. We'll get started in about 2 minutes here. A little bit early. All right. So anybody that is sewing along with me, please stop me if I'm going too fast. Otherwise, I'm just going to get through as much of this as I possibly can today. We will be revisiting, we'll be having a 5th penny in class depending how far we get here, which will fall on Tuesday, June 6th. The Maxine tote for the Tuesday class that we are doing should only take 3 classes, so that is good because Penny N, I think, is definitely going to need that 5th class. It's just so involved. It's such an amazing pattern, but we do just need to get it done. So that extra day, I think, is really, truly going to help. As you pop on, make sure you say hello. For some reason, it's saying only YouTube Premium members can post in this live chat. That shouldn't be it. Is anybody out there? I'm just going to pop in here quickly and make sure this is set up okay. That all looks okay. I'm wondering if YouTube's having issues with, oh, hi, Kim, you can, oh, good. You can hear me okay? I have this message saying only YouTube Premium members can post in this live chat, which is really weird. And then I wasn't getting any messages, so I'm like, oh, dear. Are you a YouTube Premium person? Or it should be for members. I'm very confused. Cool. Just bear with, I'm just texting the admins. I don't know why it says only YouTube Premium members can post in this live chat. Welcome to the live chat. It's very weird because it should be available to members. Which I don't know why. Yeah, I know that's the one where you sign up and it's only people who paid to not have the commercials. But it's just really weird. I've never seen it pop up in there before. So I just want to make sure. Members, I'm going to just double check. No, it looks like it should be okay. So hopefully, oh, hi, Dawn. Okay, good. Are you YouTube Premium member, Dawn, or are you just a regular YouTube member? I just have a weird message on my screen, and I don't know why. And I'm worried that the members won't be able to post. So, Kim, I know you are not sewing along with me because you're moving. Dawn isn't sewing along with me until later. Diana's going to be a little late. And Annie is making it, but she might not be able to sew along today because she's doing other things. So awesome. Okay, cool. I'll stop stressing then. All right, so I'm going to just get right to it. If you are sewing along with me, make sure you do stop me. We have a lot to get through. Again, I have decided I think we're going to need a class 5. We're going to get through as much of the guts as we can today. Class 5 will be Tuesday, June 6th. Maxine Project Tote is going to be a quick sew, and we'll only need 3 classes, thankfully. So I'm glad, because this is definitely a 5-class wallet. There's just too much to it. So yeah. So let's get started. Okay, let's make sure I have everything in place here. Let me put us to camera down. Bear with me. Split table. All right. Lighting and everything is good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to revisit our exterior that we never finished. So we should be this far. We have our flap in here. We got this thingy in the middle, our two open sides. Now we should have this installed. And we are going to put this in this fully open side. We have our centers marked. And we want to put it so the body exterior panels are right sides together in like so. And it should just fit in there nicely. It is a tight fit. Body shell may kind of look like it doesn't want to go in, but it's supposed to be like that. We want to match up those centers, both the lining and the exterior pieces, and clip that in place. Our water leak is all fixed, thank goodness for cousins that are plumbers. Dexter is trying to break into the room, but I'm not going to let him in because he's been destructive and knocking stuff down in here. He's a big puppy. Okay. Said I haven't visited this in so long, so and stitch. What is our seam allowance again? I want to say it was a 1/2 inch, but I'm going to double check just because it's been a while. I got to learn to write on the front of the patterns what our seam allowances are. Maybe I'll do that today. That's okay, Kim, no worries. All seam allowances are 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to write that on the front of this pattern because I always forget. 3/8 inch. Okay, so now we're going to sew across there with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oh, I wonder how that other camera is. Oh, we're still in place. Impressive. Okay. Hi Annie, how are you? Still working on those teacher's totes? Okay. All right, and we're going to just clip our corners because we want nice and sharp corners. Right on those angles. We can trim down these seam allowances, I believe. Yeah. I'm not going to trim it where the openings are though. On that angle. Be careful not to cut this thing in the middle. Almost done with kitty bitty. Oh, itty bitty. Awesome. Okay, and then once we have that, we can go ahead and we can turn this right side out. I was just telling everybody, Annie, that we are adding in a 5th class for this. So there are no classes next week as I am in Ontario. And there were 5 Tuesdays in May and there are 5 Tuesdays in June, so that worked out. So we will be doing the 5th Penny In class on June 6th, and the Maxine Tote we'll be doing over 3 classes because there are only, it's a fast one, so. And this is what we got, and you know what? Right off the hop, I can tell that I put this in upside down because when this is going to, and I'm going to have to pull it out. I'll show you what I mean. So I guess to do this again, I would actually install this later. This isn't a big deal to get out of here because I'll just punch a hole through it. I'll show you how I do that. But I installed it upside down. That's okay. See, because this is going to close up like this, and this is supposed to come over like this. And look, I have the wrong side pointing up, so that's okay. We will fix that right away. So we poke out all those corners. This was the day I was having a rough day, I think, the very, very, very beginning. So for homework, what I'll be doing is I will be punching this out. Which I can probably do it right now. I'm going to do it right now and reinstall it. See if I can do this. I might not be successful. We will see. But sometimes I do put them in upside down. I can tell this one's upside down just because of where that is. Now, if I had had my openings on the opposite side, it wouldn't have been, but it is. So I think if I just go like this and hit it with a hammer and something sharp, I might be able to get it to come out. Itty bitty with cat ears. I'm missing something there. Okay, I need something bigger. So again, hopefully nobody else put theirs in the wrong way. I swear this one has become the one with all the mistakes. So I may have to take this out separate. So to do this again, because this goes through both sides, there was absolutely no reason why I couldn't have installed this last, and then I wouldn't have had this problem. What am I looking for? Somebody please tell me what I'm looking for. But these aren't hard to remove, as you can see. So I can fix it. Oh, the itty bitty with cat ears. That's cute. Come out. Come out. That's where pliers are good for removing these kind of things. Again, this has become the class is showing you how to undo mistakes. I'll just be installing another one in the exact same place as soon as I can get this one out. Supposed to fit. Come on. Just kind of pinch it till it gets small so I can fit it back through that hole. This is just like when you rivet something wrong too and you got to try to get it out. Such a pain in the rear. Almost there. Come on. Yay. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure. So yes, I recommend maybe installing this later. I got to make it so when this is all closed up like this, it's going to be clipping on like that. So I'm going to reinstall it. So on this side, and it's just because I mixed up my top and the bottom. If you didn't mix up the top and the bottom when sewing these together, it should be perfect. But obviously I was having a bad day that day. I think so. Okay, so I want it to go in here. This one's going to go in here. And we are going to just reinstall it. Easy fix. All right, now where are my little tools that go with this? Where did they go? I'll grab my other little kit. I've got a ton of these kits everywhere. Where is it? People, my room is such a mess. I don't have my tools. Ah, my goodness. So yes, you just reinstall that in there. I'm going to do that later when I find my tools. It's just so weird they're not right in my little box here. Or in my drawers, because I've got two kits like this. And it's missing. Alrighty. So I'll reinstall that going the right way. So that'll be homework to do that. If you did it, mixed up your top and bottoms like I did. Next, what we want to do, is it in here? No. It's probably sitting right in front of me. Next, we want to take our interfacing, and we got to make sure this is going the right way, which is going to be this way or this way. It's going to be this way, so it'll be the same width as this. So you know that's your top. You want to make sure you have your non-fusible side of your deckable heavy sitting up. And we want to measure up 3 1/4 inches from the bottom. 3 1/4. Draw a line. 3 1/4. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 1/4 up from that one. It's really going to bug me because I don't know where those snaps went. Mystery. Okay, and we're going to take this smaller one and that doesn't look right. 3 1/4. Oh, sorry, 3 3/4. That's why it doesn't look right. 3 3/4. So not this one. I swear this penny in is going to be the death of me for the amount of mistakes I've been making. There we go. So ignore those lines there, and then this should fit 3 3/4 up from the bottom, 1 1/4 up from that one. Yep. And then this is going to go right in the middle of those two lines like that. We're going to hold that in place. Do you know what? It probably is in the fridge, Dawn. That's where I seem to put things, but I do have, and I have so many projects on the go that it's probably in one of these. Ooh, I might know where it is. I know where it is, I know where it is. Hold on. Yay! The tutorial I was working on right now. I use one. Okay, we'll install that in a moment. So we're going to take some double-sided tape on the opposite side of this. If I can find my end, because this is a brand new roll. But it shows that nothing isn't fixable. So currently missing a small cutting mat. I used it 3 days ago. I know, isn't it crazy, Annie? I misplace stuff all the time and I have no idea where it is. So that 1 1/4 mark, this should fit in it perfectly, just like so. Oops. And what this extra piece of stabilizer is doing is on the bottom is creating this rectangle part here. Okay, that looks good to me. Let me declutter some of this. We are going to need the iron here momentarily. You want to get it warming up. I have an extension cord going from my plug over there all the way over here so I can still use my iron. So you guys are crazy too. I'm glad I'm not alone, you guys, like seriously. Okay, so now we want to insert, I'm going to read it from the pattern. You guys make sure I'm doing this right. We're going to insert with the fusible side to the exterior. So I'm just going to measure here. We're going to make sure this is going to fit. I don't know. So I'm going to kind of fold this like this. This is my fusible side here. I may have to trim this up. We will see. Just going to see how this fits so far. And we're just going to push this in. It's a little bit finicky, and I think we want to make sure the seam allowance lies on the lining side. So we want to make sure this is going underneath the seam allowances, so the seam allowance is poking to the lining side. And you want to push it as far down as you can, because again, we're going to be folding this over that like we did with these pieces here. So take your time with this. This isn't too bad to do. Annie, I think your kids are moving my stuff around too. That's the only explanation I can come up with. Ooh, I slammed that down rather angrily, didn't I? Again, I'm just kind of, I don't know if you can see that. See how I have it underneath the seam allowances there? That's what we want. And you want to make sure you're not pushing it up into the second piece, this flippy floppy piece. You want it going into just the main body piece. And we want it to be nice and flush. And we should be leaving along the top here about a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we got to make sure we get this underneath that seam as well. Like so. See how I'm slipping it in there? I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. This one went in naturally. Press it down, make sure there's no crinkles in there. I think this corner I can poke out just a smidgen more. Because once we get this in place, it is in place. It's looking good so far. Okay. And then what we want to do then what we want to do is I'm actually going to fold this under right now. So this should go over nicely over top of the seam there. See, so using that deckable heavy piece like so. And then this lining piece, you're going to match up with it for a nice and even fold. I'm just going to put a few clips there to hold it, and then we're going to set this in place with the iron. Now I'm not sewing this up yet, I'm just having it in place. This is where you want to make sure that the sticky side is definitely on the exterior, because we are going to be working in here again to install more hardware. So I just want to make sure everything's in place. I can see it's nice and even here. And I'm going to bring over my iron. Excuse the mess of everything. So this shouldn't blow a fuse now, hopefully. So it's a different thing. So let me move this all over. Still smells a little bit in here of wet carpet. It's driving me crazy. All right. So I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to press this and add some steam. And what I'm doing is I'm fusing, making sure you don't touch any vinyl. I'm fusing that deckable heavy piece to the exterior by pressing it through the lining side. Okay, it won't be sticking the lining part down because the sticky side is on the exterior side. It's not a pleasant smell, no, but it didn't get really wet. Right under where my ironing board is where it was seeping through. So thankfully there's nothing under there. Okay. I'm just going to use my mat a little bit here because it's hot. Ow, this is really hot. Just kind of stick it all down. And you can feel right there, that's going to be the center. If I open this up, I can see it's not quite fused there. So I'm going to keep fusing it a little bit more and then letting it cool a little bit. Just want to make sure you don't hit that vinyl at all, if you're using vinyl like me. Okay, now while we're waiting for that to cool, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to push this back under like so, just to kind of get it to remember that place. Said we're not done with that hole yet, we got other stuff to do through there. And it's something I do a little bit different than the pattern, and I'll explain why momentarily. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now that I have all my pieces, my tools here, and I'm going to install this the right way. So again, we want this to come around and click onto here. So I need my cap piece to go through this side, like so. This piece to go on this side. Is that right? And this is folded up, and that's right. Oops. I probably need a harder surface than that. Little nooks and crannies everywhere. That's why I lose everything. Okay, take two. And now we're going to be installing some hardware for a little bit. And then we'll get back to the linings. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Okay, I'll make sure that that's good and secure. And it is. We're not done with this yet. Okay, how are we doing here? Okay, it's feeling pretty fused on there. I'm just going to give it a little bit more. It's one thing with deckable products. Hey, I have such a hard time fusing them. But as long as we get it to stay into place somewhat. Coco says hi. Okay, I think we're looking good. I'm not sure what she's barking at. It almost sounds like somebody's home, but I don't see anybody home. That's her somebody's home cry, but I don't see. There's some people outside delivering papers. I don't know what they're freaking out at other than that. He's got Dexter going. Okay. So that is all done properly. Now what we want to do is from this top center of this, so I still have my center there, but we want this to be folded down. So I'm just going to take my pen, so I know that that is my center, because I want to fold this in. I think I'm actually going to use a little bit of double-sided tape there to help me hold that down. And she stops barking. I don't know. I can tell you she hated every minute of camping this past week. Dexter wasn't sure about it, but I know he'll learn to love it. But man, Coco is not a camping dog. She hated it. Hi, Diane. How are you? How was work? We just learned what happens when you mix up your top and your bottom, which I did because my snap ended up being on the wrong side, but we just corrected it. So as long as when we put these main panels together, we didn't mix up our top and bottom, you won't have an issue. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this down and over that deckable heavy piece. And I'm not going to tape this part shut yet because we need to use that opening. So I got to make sure, I'm going to grab my ruler, that my mark is centered here. It pretty much is. Oh my gosh, cocoa beans. There's kids, looks like they're doing a bottle drive. Okay, so 5/8 down from this top edge, centered. 5/8. No, that's not 5/8, Brandy. That's 5/8. We want to make a dot. And that is where we're going to install the other part of this snap. Right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But the trick is you're going to do it just through the exterior, not through the lining. I'm just going to double check again. 5/8 right there. Or in 5/8 down. Double check again. We're good. All right. And we're just going to install it. So that's why we have the deckable heavy fuse there, because that's also going to be part of our stabilizer here. So I'm just going to take my punch with these. I'm going to stick it in underneath the lining right where that our mark is. And I'm going to punch my hole. Here's my mallet. You did what I did? I think I mixed up my top and bottom. So we'll see. You're good? It would have been mainly when we put our main panel pieces together, and I think I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. You will know as soon as you turn it out. Why aren't we going through? I know why. I need a harder surface. Okay, and then I need, where are you? I need this piece. Put through that hole. Did I get the hole big enough? I did not. try it again. Try my other whole thing. It might be a little better. I got one set that's old and dull and one that is not. I think this is the newer one. It should be better. There we go. That's better. So just through the exterior to here. So Diane, what I was telling everybody is June 6th, we will be having, we will be doing a class 5 because this bag definitely needs 5 classes. I don't want to rush through anything because we saw what happens when I rush. Okay, I'm going to use my tool, put it back in through here. Where is my other one? That is in, good and secure. Perfect, we are done with those. So you'll see that is when this is closed like a wallet. This here will snap into there just like that. This is it on the finished wallet, just like that. Okay, let's clean this up and then we will install the other part of our turn lock. All right. So this one, again, we have it all folded under. We want to measure down centered 2 5/8, I think it is. 2 5/8 down from the top. 2 5/8. 2. I'm kind of marking it with center of my thingy here. 2 5/8. I'm going to make a mark. Is that 2 5/8? 1, 2, 5/8. Okay. I'm also going to make sure that that is centered. Not quite. Should be right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's better. And I'm also going to kind of fold this in half and bring this down just to double check that that little dot falls nice and centered inside of there, which you can see. See, can you guys see that? It does. So I know that that's good. It's leaving us lots of room to put in the guts. And then we can go ahead and install this. Now in the pattern, she installs it through all layers right through to this side and then covers it with the piece of interfacing, because on this side, I'm not doing it this way because I don't like it this way. Because it gets covered by many layers and enclosed in there. So you can't see it. It's up to you. But I feel better if it's not going through any of the lining pieces. So I'm just going to install it through the exterior piece, just because it's what I'm used to. So you got to think this is the right way up. So I'm going to mark my center there. I have to figure out which prongs these go into. Okay. Make my marks. Make sure my prongs are level. And then not cutting through the lining, just through this. If you do cut through the lining, it's not a big deal. You can definitely do it her way. I'm going to cut through without cutting my fingers, just through the vinyl and that deckable heavy piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Make sure I have it the right way. I don't think this one has a right or wrong way. And this is a little bit awkward to put the backing on, but you can do it. It's doable. Push those prongs in. Ow. Make sure it's nice and straight. Before we finish it off, I'm just going to kind of snap this in place and then bring this down and put it through just to double check it all matches up and it's perfection. Yay, something going good. So I'm just going to double check we're nice and straight. Okay. And then what I like to do, just because I don't trust those prongs, is I just kind of bang on this lightly, rubber side, whichever one, just make those prongs go down nicely. And they are. Now I'm going to put some duct tape on the back of those prongs. This doesn't look like it's super center, but it's floppy. It'll be fine. Oops. So again, if you go all the way through these layers, that is fine too. Yes, name tag is next done. We're not quite there yet, because we will also be putting the name tag through here. So you can kind of see right there, that's where that skinny piece of deckable heavy was. And I put mine, so the bottom of my nameplate was 1 inch up from that centered. So I'm just going to draw right along there. Is that one along there? I'm going to fold it. I'm going to draw my 1 inch line with my pen, and then I'm going to find that center, which it should be 4 inches in, right there, 4 inches in right there, and that is where I'm going to install my nameplate. So this will be different for everybody because all of our nameplates are different. So you're just one step ahead of me, Dawn. We got this. Thank you. And now I'm going to go ahead and install this. Make sure you have it situated properly so it's facing the right way. Now you may decide you want to do a nameplate somewhere else. This is just where I thought it looked good on the back, like this one. Just because the front has that big buckle. So I gotta make sure I know this is a different plating back than I usually use. That should be fine. I am actually going to grab a different plating back because this one's not for this nameplate. I must have got a miscellaneous one in my bag. There we go. I need a bigger room. I'm walking around everything. All right. Let's go ahead and install this. So I use my markings to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that is where those go. Where did my lid go? There it is. And I'm going to reach in to the lining. It's not in the lining. I'm just reaching through to the exterior. And I'm going to go ahead and install my nameplate right there. Make sure it's going the right direction. I'm going by feel for my prongs. And before I set that right in place, I'm just going to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to just measure down from this top. Yeah, that looks okay. I think that looks straight. Maybe a little bit this way. Really finicky with this. Okay, I think that looks okay. I'm just going to and then put some duct tape on the back of those prongs. Reach inside. Wipe away those marks. And I think that looks good. I'm actually going to, now that those are in, I can take some double-sided tape and put it along here to hold these together until we're ready for them in a little bit. And it'll just help hold everything in place until we start to attach our lining pieces. So you can see this looks really good along the top. It's nice and even. You can kind of get an idea what the wallet is going to look like as we're done the exterior. I think she looks pretty good, regardless of our struggles. She looks really good. It looks really floppy. This one looks so much fuller because you can see how much all those guts are going to fill it up. So, all right, I need a drink. I don't know about you guys. Not a hard drink, just some sparkling ice water. Oops. Okay. All right. See what it says to do next. We did all that. Now I'm just kind of going through the pattern. So we're done with that first section. Now we're back to this section. So we can put that exterior part away for now, and then we're back on working on the lining guts. So we did the ID window, we did the card slots. And we did card pocket B. We're done this whole section almost. Yes, I need my other set of instructions. This pattern has so many instructions. I just got to find that other section of instructions. Where are you? I'm missing a section. I might have to bring up my PDF pattern. Where the heck did it go? Annie, your kids are stealing my stuff again. It's the section we had been working on before. So let's start emptying this and see if I can find it. We're going to need that. Well, I know where it might be. Maybe in here. It is not in here. What the heck? I'm super organized, aren't I? Not at all. We're going to need that. Does anybody see my other set of instructions? No big deal. I can bring it up on my computer. It's just really weird. It is disappeared. Put it in here. Bear with me. I've been printing off so much stuff and so much paper that it has disappeared on me. Where did we go? So because there were so many pages, I had them stapled in 3 separate sections. But part of it is gone. So I'm going to bring it up on my computer here. And we'll go from there. I need to explain the travel. Under my wool mat, you know, it's so weird. I said I had everything, because of the flood yesterday, I had everything pushed into this area and stuff was falling everywhere. Oh no, it's right here. Hey, look it, I found it. There we go. Feel better. All right. So now we're to the point. Let's see. We did that first zipper pocket, right? which is this one. Let me just get to where we were. Okay. So we're collecting all of our guts. There's so many lining pieces to this. So that's there, there, and there. I have them now. It's all good. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I swear I know what I'm doing. Just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so now we want to take our second section A piece. So we're back to where we were yesterday. Let's put this into here. We want to put these right sides together. So this is the pocket that we did yesterday or last week. Put them right sides together. And we're going to pin along the bottom only. So I'm going to find my top and bottom center of this piece too, just so we have them. And put these right sides together. Match up those centers. So again, we're just clipping along the bottom, not the top, the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and stitch across there with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Because it's just a straight line, I'm just going to go ahead and do that at the machine here. Actually, I can switch us. Let me switch us to here. So I'm just going to do the one view so I don't have to change, whoops, my camera angles. So I'm just doing 3/8 of an inch across. And this is where my machine isn't going to like this too much because these are uninterfaced pieces of cotton. You can hear the sound an industrial makes when it's not happy, but it's getting through it. We're okay. All it does, as you can kind of see, even here, how it kind of pulled at it, that's from being uninterfaced. But once we have this all together, you won't notice it. It'll be okay. Okay. So now we're going to want this iron here. So I think this works okay as long as I don't trip over the extension cord here. Just having it on a different outlet. Now what we want to do is we want to press the seam towards the zipper pocket. It might help if I let my iron warm up a little bit. Just like so. So this is what it looks like. I'll give this a quick press again. Just kind of straighten up these pleats a little bit. But honestly, I think if this was interfaced, it would just be too thick. It would be too bulky of a wallet. So I'm actually going to put this underneath the seam a little bit. Maybe not. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and now what we want to do is we want to grab the one with our ID panel. Okay, so we have our zipper closing to the left. So our ID pocket is on the bottom to the right. And we want to line it up with that seam that we just sewn. So our top stitch side is up here and this is the part that is not stitched. And we are going to clip that in place. So they should be the same width, which they are. Make sure it's staying nice against that seam. And then we're just going to baste where we're clipping here with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to put it back to the Tiffany view for these because I don't think we need to have the over the shoulder view here. Just make going back and forth a little bit easier. Stitch that in place. I'm getting a little bit thicker here, so my machine is a little more happy with me. Same with the other side. All right. Just table. Okay. Retrieve your card pocket B1 assembly. I just got to remember which one that is. The one that isn't backed. So this one here that isn't backed. So we got one that is backed and one that isn't backed. Okay. Retrieve. I'm going to read this out to you. Retrieve your card pocket B assembly. The one that isn't backed. Place its bottom right edge. So right here, raw edge. With the top edge of your zipper pocket assembly. So we've got this happening, and yes, it does go all the way through. So we want to make sure the bottom. So when it's up like this, the card slots are going this way. We want to put the right sides together, I think. Let me double check this. Place its bottom raw edge together with the top right edge of the zipper pocket assembly right sides together. I know this looks weird. I know we're doing it right, but I just got to double check because this is, the guts get so confusing. Okay, I see what we're doing. So this is the part we're doing right here. We're putting these two things here together. This one and this one. So match up that center. I'm just going to use my center line here. And you are going to see these are not the same width. That is okay. We don't want them to be the same width. This one will be shorter than this outer piece. Hear Dexter digging at my window, everybody? This is where the magic happens. Like how Chris wrote a pattern like this, I don't know, because I definitely would not have ever thought about doing it this way. But it's a little more complicated, but it's so worth it. So now we're going to sew just across here, just across this pocket with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oops, wrong way, Tiffany. Careful not to sew through the card slots. It should be going almost right next to the card slots, but not through the card slots. frog in my throat. Okay. So this is what we got. It kind of looks like this. And we want to iron the seam down towards the zipper pocket. So both seams should be going towards the zipper pocket panel. Just like this. Okay, press the seam allowance to the wrong side at the bottom raw edge. Let me see here. Okay. So this bottom raw edge here, we want to draw a line. I need my big ruler. Where'd you go? Holy moly, I'm losing everything. I just had you too. Somebody needs to come and clean my studio for me, pretty please. I gotta get a different ruler. What'd I do with it? And it's probably right in front of me and I just don't see it. I was just using it. So we're going to measure up 3/4 of an inch from this raw edge. So that's of the bottom of the A piece. Draw a line. And then we are going to fold this raw edge into that line, and that should be 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let's double check. And it is. Yeah, I definitely needed to have this iron here. I'm glad that my husband was smart and said, why don't you just use an extension cord? Really like to know where my ruler went. It's down under my mat. Who knows? There it is. I see it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do no, I guess we don't need to. We're going to take this edge and we are going to flip it up, and we want it to be even with this here. So like so. And it's kind of going over this seam allowance we have pressed down. So you're just going to make these nice and even. I'm going to give it a little press. You'll see how it comes up nice and even here as well. Just give it a little press. Oops, I did it wrong, sorry. Right sides together, like this. My bad. Right sides together. Still matching up that top section there. And give that a press. Good catch. Okay, and then we're going to clip these sides together, making sure that we're nice and even. So we still have this part hanging out. Everybody still there? Said YouTube's been acting up a little bit lately, so okay, so that's what this looks like. Okay, and then we're going to stitch down these sides with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and that's going to bring this and this all to be the same width. Awesome, Diane. How was your snap? Was it upside down like mine, or were you good? I'm hoping you were good. Hoping you were good. Okay. I'll put the camera back to over shoulder when we get into the nitty gritty. Okay. 3/8. And it measures up. Whew. It's like the moment of truth here. To know if all of your cutting and all of your measurements were right. because if they weren't and they don't line up, then you know you did something wrong. I did enough wrong already, so you just need it to be right. Okay. Same with on the other side. Okay, sounds good. Let me know, Diane. I know what I did. I know that I mixed up my top and my bottom. I didn't follow my marks. After I even told everybody, make sure you follow your marks. I'm actually just going to trim up. I just noticed I have a little overhang on my card slots here. I want to even those up. All right. So now what we want to do, so this is what we got. It looks like we have like a little thing here. We're going to clip these corners on an angle without cutting or stitching and trim up our seam allowances just about 1/4 of an inch or so. My wrists don't want to work right now. I've been doing too much knitting, I guess. And then we want to turn this right side out. I was like, oh no, what'd I do? Gotta kind of flip this up and around. Just like so. Make sure your pocket stays in there. See what we got? Press out those corners. It is magical. Magical. Because it looks like you're doing it wrong and then you're doing it right. So, this is what that looks like. You're going to give this a good press once we have those corners all poked out good. There's my pokey tool. This is more complex than most purses, I think. Okay, so you have that. We can go ahead, we can give it a good press. Don't hold out too long. Where our vinyl piece is, you kind of have this pocket here that opens and closes. Perfect. See how these are all the same now? Just what we wanted. Make sure this seam all looks the same. And just press everything in place really, really good. Ooh, whoa, look, I almost put my iron on that. That, oops, stopped me. I would have cried. Careful of your vinyl. There we go. Okay. Top stitch. Okay. So now I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape right here to hold that closed, because that's going to make it a lot easier for later if it's all in place. I really don't know where my double-sided tape went. What the heck is going on? Everything just is moving on me. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll just grab more. I said I didn't get my studio all back organized from moving everything around yesterday for the mini flood. And I won't have time to clean up before my trip on Friday, so it's just is what it is, and I'll deal with it when I get back from Ontario in 10 days. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure these all line up nicely before I stick it down to the tape. In the pattern, for a domestic machine, it recommends Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape. Maybe do a test first to make sure your machine likes it. It'll be better than this super sticky stuff. Okay, and now what we want to do is right where this one is, where it's open, I'm going to put some tape right along underneath this seam that we just stitched. Just like so. Okay. And we want to bring that folded under edge up almost underneath these card slots here. It should just fold up nicely without, and it'll cover that stitching just like that. And we're going to flip this over, and we are going to top stitch just down from this seam with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and that is going to close that up. I'm just going to, oh, it should be fine. I was going to double check my tension, but I think it'll be okay. I think it's getting thick enough now. It's right below that seam. And my tension's good. And if you've done it right, you'll see along the back here, that's all closed up now. I'm finally doing things right. Okay, so now we can set that aside for now. And now we're going to work on our other 2 zipper pocket B pieces. I'm just making sure I know where I am. Okay, I do know what I'm doing. I'm gonna push my iron away. Dum 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 dum. All right, exterior's away for now. And I'm going to look for our 2 zipper pocket B pieces. Look, we're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. These welts are a whole other story too. They'll be fun. So we'll get all of these guts done today. And then on the 5th day, we will be putting it all together. And it might not even be a full day on that 5th day, but it might be. Okay. So the zipper pocket A pieces, do I want the outer or do I want the lining? So let me double check. Zipper pocket B lining pieces. So the lining pieces are the shorter pieces. So I'm just going to fold this under, make sure I have this going the right way. Okay, which one's bigger? Okay, so that one's bigger, that one's bigger. So these are the outer pieces and these are the inner pieces. Again, we just want to make sure we got the right width going because they're so close. I think it's supposed to be this way. Yes. And yes. So I'm just going to mark on the back of these, top and top. I'm going to give these lining pieces a quick press because they're wrinkly. Even though these are lining pieces and they won't really be seen, but okay, top and top. Okay. Should be remaining. I'm just reading it to make sure I don't go rogue. Okay, I need my ruler that I thought I lost, but it's right here. Now want to know where our top is. Okay, so this is the lining. We want, from that top, we want to measure down 4 3/4 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4. I didn't cut mine very good, but that's okay. And draw a line. May as well do this with the other side too. We'll do these both at the same time. 4 3/4. And then draw a rectangle left to right. Okay, and then we want to do a line 3/8 of an inch below that one. And then we'll try 3/4 of an inch in from each side. I said we're just kind of repeating how we did our other ones. This should be, I got 6 1/2. They have 6 3/4. I'm okay with 6 1/2. Oopsies. So it's not going to look centered. The top part is going to be bigger than the bottom part. Draw that center. Oops, we'll go in 1/4 inch from each side. Draw that center line. Or V's out. V's out. My least favorite way of doing pockets, but in a wallet, this is how you gotta do it. Okay. Now we're gonna need our outer pieces here, which are the bigger ones. Again, I gotta press these ones because they're not pressed very good. I need my starch. Water's good enough. Let me just give these a quick press. It's one thing when you don't interface, your pieces don't get pressed. Because I never think about ironing my pieces beforehand, except for when I am doing. I still didn't get all that wrinkle out. Try and picture how it goes together, Kim. You will see it next class. It is like magic. I said, I've already made one and this pattern still makes my brain go, huh? What are we doing? And honestly, the silly mistakes I have made through this class are because I'm tired. I am a little burnt out And this holiday coming up is exactly what the doctor ordered. So, okay, so again, we want to make sure we have the right width going. So this is the top for each. And I think these will get easier as we understand them more. Like it's crazy. Okay. Now place the zipper pocket bee lining pieces. Okay, we want to find our top and bottom centers of the outers. I said I keep reading it over and over the instructions just because it is so different. It is confusing. I think my tutorial helps a little bit more just because, I don't know, it's sometimes easier to explain things as we go. And then I haven't made one in a month, so it's like, what am I doing? I guess that's the curse of making multiple bags a week, is your head kind of ends up all over the place. Okay, so again, I want to keep my top to the tops. Find my top and bottom centers of the outer pieces. But when it goes together, oh my gosh, it's like so proud of myself once it's done. And it looks amazing. Now this is a wallet. I will be selling this wallet for $95. Doesn't cost too much to make. Takes some time to make. And it just holds so much. I've never seen a wallet hold this much before. Okay, so I got my top to my tops, make sure, because that's what I did wrong before. Tops to tops. Now it says on the wrong side, okay. Now place your zipper pocket lining pieces on top of your zipper pocket A outer pieces. Right side match the raw edges, centered top to bottom, pin in place. Okay. So we're just going to take this and put it on top of here and match up that top center and clip it into place. I'm going to put a couple clips here, as well as, if I can find my tomato, there it is, I'm going to put a couple pins in here as well. Just to hold it in place while I sew it. Okay, same with this other one, make sure it's top and top. And Chris's instructions are, there's so many pages, but she explains it so well. I think my problem is I keep getting a little bit cocky and I keep trying to go rogue, and I'm not used to these techniques, so I need to just stop it. That's what I need to do. Okay, and just like we did with the other zipper, we're going to go ahead and stitch around this zipper rectangle. Okay, so again, I'm not going to put it to the over the shoulder. I'm just going to do machine view because I don't think we need over the shoulder here. I don't think we'll need over the shoulder really until next class. So let's go ahead and do both of these at the same time. And we're doing these at the same time rather than making them homework, because there is something that is a little different from one to the other. Kim, do you think you will try to make, oh yeah, you've started making one of these, correct? I think you were cutting with us. Just learn from my mistakes that I've made in the class. Oh, welcome back, John. Into my tomato. Bring my tomato over here. What's nice about this pattern is it is new techniques and it is challenging even for me, and it is good to challenge ourselves that way. Okay. This one, I'm going to do the other one. Oh, that's right. I forgot your bobbin did that. Here my machine's a little bit angry because this is thinner materials, but it's still okay. But definitely not a 4-class project. Oh my goodness. 5 will be perfect. Which I guess sometimes happens. I probably should take that into account, that not all bags will be a 4-class bag. Maybe one day we'll have a bag that'll go over 2 months. This one probably could have been one that went over 2 months. I still feel like we've rushed parts of it, but Coco says hi. Okay. Let's see, yes, I cut it. Then you bought your house and sewing room will take forever to pack. You got this, Kim. I am so excited for you and your husband. That is amazing. Congratulations. I hope it's your dream house. I love house shopping. I do. My house now isn't my dream house. I loved my house when I lived in Winnipeg. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but it was a split level, like a 3-level split. I just loved it. And we renovated it to perfection. So stressful. Just breathe and take it in, Kim. It's an exciting time for you. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is exactly like we did with the other pockets. Is we're going to cut into this hole and then press these to the wrong side. So just like how we make any zipper pocket. We're just doing 2 at the same time. The reason we're doing 2 at the same time is we want the zippers to go in opposite directions. So the only way to guarantee that is to do them at the same time, I think. Cut into those V's, so just like we did before. And these are actually going to be a little bit different because we are going to be forming a tube out of these. You'll see what I mean here momentarily. I'm terrible at these though, getting right close to that stitching. It never looks good. Well, it does. I think it just doesn't look good in my brain. And of course, if I didn't use such a contrasting thread, nobody would be the wiser but me. That's all good. Okay, I'm gonna bring my iron back here. Chugga, 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 chugga. My poor iron mat is so dirty. Okay, and we're going to push the zipper pocket into the back. That sounds amazing, Kim. A room over a garage. Right through the hole, just like we did with the last zipper pocket. And we're going to press everything into place. Again, not my favorite thing to do. Did I do these right? That's the top. Yes, that's the top there. Okay. So again, remember the shorter end is the bottom and the one with more is the top. And the bottom will be longer. It should be anyways. Not much. Actually, it makes it about the same. A little bit longer. Ugh. Come on. See? I'm terrible at this. Again, this is also because I'm doing this on an industrial, so it doesn't, and the fabrics are just so thin because these are uninterfaced. But we will get through it, and it'll be fine because it was fine on my other one. Okay, you're just finger pressing that seam nicely. Take your time to do the pressing like I'm doing. Ouch, hot. This iron is unpredictable. It's just, it leaks and it gets super hot. The Aliso is not my favorite iron, but it is fun how it goes up and down. I will admit that. You're almost there, Kim. It's almost time for closing. Ow. Hot. So this is because I didn't get close enough. When it does this, it's because I didn't get close enough to my stitching, but I'm just going to press it into place because I don't want to go back in. Let that cool down for a moment and work on this one. And this is why I do overlays, because I'm not good at doing zippers this way. And I rarely do zippers this way, so I am super out of practice doing them this way. Press, press, press. Not worried about this side so much because that's the lining side. This side we want to look as good as we possibly can though. You guys hear the airplanes? It's water bombers going overhead. Not sure what fire they're working on, but actually I think there was one on the Kokahawa Highway. Okay, that's going to be good enough for me. And I will straighten those out as I stitch it. Just going to do the same with the opposite side. This is my lining side. So everybody over in Ontario, how's the weather? How should I be packing? I leave on Friday. Yay! Actually, I leave for Kelowna on Friday, and then, what am I doing? And then fly out of Kelowna to Mississauga, to Toronto Pearson on Saturday. And then I don't see Anna until the Thursday after. Work on the right side here. These little wrinkly things here, they remind me of my crow's feet by my eyes. So it's kind of smiling at you, because those are smile lines. Dexter's trying to break into the room. Okay, and those will all stretch out as we get going, trust me. Not going to be noticeable. Okay. I'm done with that. Let's top, move this out of the way. And now we're going to need our zippers, and I haven't cut my zippers yet. So again, I'm using number 3 zipper with this, and I'm just going to cut it for the same width as this and trim it out after. The second one the same way. And I'm going to just go ahead over to my handy dandy fork that I have for putting my zipper ends on, or my zipper pulls on, and put them on. This is all I have for number 3 zipper pulls. I rarely use them, so I need some gunmetal ones that are done. I hope I have another gunmetal one. Gunmetal. No, authentic brass. Uh-oh. Gunmetal. It's gunmetal? Yep. Okay. Any questions so far as we go? This stuff a little easier? Said my main struggle, I think, was the card slots. But card slots are not my favorite, as we all know. Okay. So we'll put your zipper pulls on. So you won't see me for a moment because I'm just over here. I have my fork and my vise on this side of the room. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. All right, so we want to be very aware of where our tops and our bottoms are. So that's my top that way. And the front, you know which is your lining because it's shorter. So this is the top, and I promise this is going to stretch out as we stitch it. Okay, I'm going to just iron that a little more. It doesn't help that my lining fabric has a little bit of stretch to it, and with it not being interfaced, it's not behaving the way I'm used to it either. So, like, look at the stretch in this. Can you see that? Which is probably also why she had us go with the grain of the fabric, which I followed mainly. Okay, so now with this one, when your zipper pulls are closed, so this one is closing this way and this one is closing this way, you want them going opposite directions. So we're going to put these on just like we do with any of our zippers. I lost my tape. There it is. So on the back side, just like we do with the overlay ones, and just like we did with that other zipper pocket that we did, I'm going to take some tape. I got something on my nose that's glittery. Oh my goodness. And put them 1/8 of an inch or so away from that top opening, especially if you are on a domestic and you don't want your needle to come up, depending what your machine likes. I mean, you can hold these in place with your hands as well, but this definitely makes it easier and helps with getting the good placement of your zippers. And you don't need to destash, Kim, you just need a bigger room. That's what I say to myself. I really need to clean my room though, it's terrible. Okay, so we're gonna work with this first one, and it's closing to the left. Take that top tape off. Center it over top. A little odd working with number 3 zippers for me. That's for sure. Okay, once that looks good, do the same on the bottom. Okay, so it looks like that. Same with this other side, but this one's going to the left. Very important, these are going in opposite directions. I'll show you why here in a moment. I'll show you what we're making here in a moment. It's not the end of the world if they go the same direction. Get up there. But yes, this tape definitely helps hold it in place and to get a nice straight zipper, because you can kind of place it where you want it to go with the right amount of zipper tape showing through. Kim, it's never big enough. I just moved into this room from like something a quarter of the space just this time last year, and I have this room full, and I'm already talking about when Riley moves out and we can move our bedroom from my old studio into his bedroom, where my purses are back here. We're going to knock out that wall, and that takes you into my old sewing studio, and that is going to be where I have all of my storage, like for my vinyls and my filing cabinet and everything. So I look forward to it. Okay, so this is what we got. I'll show you what we're doing here. So when you look in here in the middle, we're working on these two zipper pockets, and see, they close the same direction, but they're opposite from one another. So that's why we have our zipper pulls going in opposite directions. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we are going to sew around these rectangles. While I sew around here, I'm going to pull my fabric taut so it's not as wrinkly. We're going to do that on both of them. Okay. Coco says hi because people are walking by. My dad is texting me nonstop. Daddy, daddy, daddy. I think I forgot to tell them that I was working tonight, so. Okay. All the way around. And this is where I'm going to kind of pull this fabric tight, and I'm going to get my stitches to hold it in place where it was wrinkling a bit. It's not going to be perfect, but again, nobody's going to notice it but me. And maybe you now, because I told you about it. My tension is good, and it is. Needle down to move my pull out of the way. That wasn't a good sound. Oops. It's nice and taut. One done. And the other one. Pull all the way. Okay, whoops, let go. Let go. All right. What are we doing for time? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do one of these, and the other one is going to be for the homework, because because I want to get to the welts. So I'll do one of the welts with you, and then the second welt will be for homework because they go together the exact same way. Okay, so actually bottom to bottom. Oops. Bottom to bottom. What have I done? Oh, it goes this way. And I'll be redoing this one because can anybody see what I did here? I sewed my zipper. I'm not sure how I managed to do that actually. I sewed my zipper right side up to the lining. See what I did? So this one I will take apart and do again. It should look like this one. So you see the longer pieces, that's the exterior. So I put my zipper on the wrong side. But that's okay. I'm going to trim my zipper tape up to this. I could have not even told you guys about that. You may not have never known, but I told you. So yes, it's definitely the lining side is the one that's shorter. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take our two exterior pieces and we're going to match up those centers like so. Okay. Right sides together, those exterior pieces. You're going to take your lining side and do the same thing, match up those centers. And it's going to look funny. It's going to look like this. Just make sure it's lining to lining, exterior to exterior. Okay, so this is what that looks like. It looks like a hot mess, just like this. Okay. Okay, and now what we're going to do just on the up and bottom part is we're going to sew each of those with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So you're not sewing the sides, just those parts together along those long sides. You'll do the same with the other zipper pocket piece. And then the bottom piece here. So this is what we got. It looks funny, I know. Now what we want to do is we want to trim these seam allowances to 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and we want to press those seams open the best we can. I'm just going to kind of put it down like so. Okay. Oops, I cut my seam a little too short there, but that's okay. Okay. And now what we want to do, you kind of want to reach in and you want to pull so find where the right side of your zipper is and kind of bring it through the tube like so. Pull it all through. Working in tubes isn't fun, but this is worth it, I promise. You're going to see that's going to bring those wrong sides together in a tube. Okay, this is what we got. See? There's the inside there. And then we want to press it. Kind of bring these seams down and together like so. See how they kind of match up there? And we want to press the seam with everything nice and flat on the inside and on the outside like that, and give it a press. A really good press so you can see how my crow's feet don't show so much anymore, and those crow's feet crow's feet as I call them are going to get caught in the seam allowance. So come on, go down. So you want to make sure it's all pressed nice and flat. Do the same with the other one. You'll notice the other one, the zipper will be closing the opposite way. Ouch. Okay, and then what we want to do, okay, I'm not going to do the next step because I'm not going to use a cable tie. There is an option for a cable tie just to make these stiffer. I didn't do that. I did not. So if you want to use a cable tie, you'll find that on page 47. In step P there. I'm just going to double check something, so I don't think we do that later. Okay, I did. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I did go ahead and I just top stitched along that top part, I think. So that's that pocket, so that's separate. Just double checking my work here. Yes. So all I'm going to do is just go ahead and I'm just going to top stitch along there. I'm not top stitching where it said to do a cable tie. I'm just making that top look really pretty. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to baste my sides together. Just to keep everything nice and neat and tidy. But I'm not going across the bottom, just up the side. I think I'm going across the bottom, no. And top stitching the top. Unless you are putting in some boning or something, then go ahead and follow the pattern, but I don't think it's necessary. And I didn't have cable ties. I'm sure my husband does in his shop, but okay, so that's what that looks like. So this one is closing to the right. You should have a completely finished pocket. Said I would have had that with this one if I hadn't put it on upside down. So I'll be fixing that for homework. So homework is the other one going the opposite direction. And then we are going to finally get to our last 4 pieces, which are these welts or accordions as I like to call them. So I'm just going to trim. I have my interfaces. So these ones should have the interfacings on like so. And they should be opposite one another, which these two are. So I'm going to show you what to do. You get 2 that are mirrored to one another. I'm going to put these 2 aside. You will do the other ones for homework. Give this a little bit of a press. Okay, actually you got to make sure 2 of them have this and 2 of them don't. So make sure you are using, we want a lining piece one and we want an exterior piece one. So make sure you got the right ones there. Okay, so here's my exterior piece one, right side up. Here's my lining piece one, and they should almost line up if I cut them right. I might have grabbed the wrong ones. They just got a slight difference. If they don't match up, try the other one. So when the right sides together, Brandy, there we go. Okay, so on this lining one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw some lines here at 1/4 inch. I think it's 1/4 inch. And it's just going to help us get nice sharp lines, just like we did with the flap. Or stitching guiding lines. So I'm just following the shape of the sides. Along the tops and the bottoms. Okay, so now we're going to put them right sides together with the lining side up, and we're going to clip just along the top and the bottom. Once again, double checking you have one that's interfaced and one that is not. So just like that. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stitch along those lines. I know we're almost done, but we're going to just hold on till I can show you guys the rest of this, and then we'll be more than set for next class. So just stitch along those lines at 1/4 inch that we just drew, making sure you pivot right at the corners nicely. Top done. I want to do the same along the bottom. Ow. Got caught under my pressure foot. Tried to sew through my finger there, guys. Wouldn't be the first time. All right. We're almost done. Now what we want to do, similar to what we did with our our flaps, is right into these corners. We want to cut up, like so. I think that's what it says to do. Yep. Up like so, without cutting the stuff there. Actually, I'm going to do a little V here instead. A little V right in that corner. Okay, and at these corners here, I'm going to go straight across as close as I can to the stitching without cutting the stitching. And then we're going to turn this right side out through the tube. Another tube turn. Poke out those corners best you can. And then we're going to press this really good, making sure those corners are all poked out. Very important. These are our accordion sides of our wallet. It's what's going to hold all of the inside zipper pockets and all that together. Okay, go ahead and give that a good press. making sure. We got a lot done today. Holy. And please don't let the complexity of this pattern make it so you don't want to make it. You do, trust me. Okay. Once we have that pressed out all good, we're going to go ahead and top stitch along the tops and the bottoms and baste the sides shut. Okay, so I'm going to start on the side first, just because I want to check my tension before I get to the part that will show. I think we're okay. Tension. Loosen it up just a smidgen. Okay. And then baste down the other side, and then top stitch the bottom. That's good. All right, and that is all done. So again, for homework, you're going to go ahead, you're going to do the other one and the other zipper pocket, and then we will be ready to put it all together. We're almost there. See why we needed a 5th class? We needed a 5th class. So all right, everybody, thank you again for coming. Thank you again for understanding changing it to Wednesday. We will be doing the last class. We have no classes next week because it's the 5th Tuesday of the month, and I'm in Ontario, and same with next Thursday. There are 5 Thursdays in June, so there's no class next week because I will be in Ontario. So June 6th, we will be doing the 5th class for the Penny Inn, and we will be starting Maxine the following week. And then the Thursday, we will be starting the Aurora Triple Zip. I'm super excited for both. They will be a lot easier than this one, I promise you. And yeah, so I hope you guys all enjoyed this, and I will see you later. Message me if you have any questions.